Hello there, everyone, and welcome to Behind the Bricks. I'm Connor, and today I'm honored to be interviewing Joshua Hanlon from Beyond the Brick. Joshua, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, Connor, it is great to be here. Thanks for inviting me to sit down with you virtually for a bit of a chat here. I'm looking forward to your questions. Thank you.
You're such a great influence to me and so many others, especially in the world of Lego. So the first question, can you share with us what you currently do in the Lego community?
That's a great question, and it has a lot of different answers depending on when you ask it and the different points in the career I've had with Beyond the Brick over the years. And it's changed quite a bit recently due to most of the conventions we would normally go to being canceled. So normally I would be planning travel for me and my brother John, who I run the YouTube channel with, and we would be figuring out all the different Lego conventions that we could hit throughout the year. But since those have been canceled, my primary duties now are setting up guests for live streams and recording live streams on Beyond the Brick. And so we do a number of different live streams every week between the ones I host and then also the different contributors we have that come in and host streams as well. So that's primarily what I do now is hosting live streams and then helping keep up with some of the behind the scenes stuff, though my brother John, as I mentioned, does a lot of that, and he's always working very hard behind the scenes to keep things going. And so between both of us, we can usually make things work.
Awesome. So my next question is, what started your love for Lego and how did you get to where you are now?
My love for Lego started basically as long ago as I can remember. From a very, very young age, I have a couple of older siblings, and they had Lego pretty much before I was even born or right around the time that I was born. And so I was just surrounded by first Duplo and then more system brick growing up and always loved it. Had a lot of fantastic sets from the 90s themes like Western, Pirates, Imperial stuff, all of that sort of really cool themes that I still love today and talk a lot about in different videos on the channel. So I think that's really where my love for Lego started, was just being surrounded by it as a kid and then continuing to grow up and play with it. And then, sorry, what was the second half of the question there?
So, and how did you get to where you are now, like in the Lego community and Beyond the Brick?
Yeah, so it's taken a long time. Beyond the Brick is almost 10 years old now. Started back in 2011 as an audio-only podcast, actually. So technology wasn't nearly as good for podcasting and this type of video work as it is now. So there were a lot less options for what to do. So we just started as an audio-only podcast and just kind of very naturally built from there. So we did that for a few years with the podcast, doing long form interviews online with people. John and I went to our first convention, Brickworld Chicago in 2012, and realized that was something we really enjoyed, and people really enjoyed seeing the interviews from there. So it was something we wanted to do more of. But traveling to conventions and doing all of that required a lot more money than just sitting at home and doing online interviews. And so it took us a number of years to build up the channel with ad revenue and then sponsors like Brickmania and Clone Army Customs to be able to go out and hit up more shows in the US and then eventually international shows that we've been able to get to today. So it's just been very natural growth as opportunities have come up. John and I have been able to take advantage of them and just continue to expand both the Beyond the Brick YouTube channel, and now our Facebook page actually just hit 1 million followers as well. So that's become really, really big for us just in the last couple of years, has really started to explode.
Wow, it's amazing that it's been around for 10 years. That's crazy.
Yeah, it kind of blows my mind as well. It doesn't seem that long. I mean, when you're in the thick of it and just kind of recording, whether it's weekly podcast episodes or in more recent years, traveling a lot to conventions, then that time just kind of goes by and you don't really realize how long you've been doing this. We've posted over 2,500 videos, I think, on the channel. So it adds up quickly and it goes by fast, but it's been fantastic.
That's crazy. So what is a hobby you enjoy besides Lego?
A number of different things. The big thing that I've been doing a lot with my family a lot as well is pickleball. I don't know if you've heard of that. It's kind of like tennis.
Yeah.
So it's a super fun sport. It's becoming much more popular here in the U.S. It's been really blowing up over the last like 5 years or so here. And we play a lot. There's different courts in the area here in northern Indiana where I live. So we'll meet up with different people and play, or just play with our family. And that's a lot of fun. It's been particularly good during these like quarantine times, because it's some way to get outside and still stay active and stuff, and uh, not just sitting at home all day on the couch, which has been good. So a lot of that, a lot of outdoor activities. Board games is something we will do a lot of as well, especially during the winter time here in Indiana, where you don't really want to go outside too much, and it's nice to stay indoors. So a lot of board games as well we like to play.
That's awesome. So the next question is, what is a personal goal and a Lego goal you have for this year?
Personal goal for me, and this is something I've been working on a lot, again, while being stuck at home, is kind of organization in my life. So I tend to be very unorganized and just kind of have stuff everywhere. You know, we've got this nice backdrop in the studio here, but the rest of this room, 90% of the time, is kind of a mess. That's why we don't show it most of the time. And so just getting both Lego as well as everything else just kind of organized in general here in the house, and keeping that stuff, so I can go and basically like know where an item is and pull it out and find it and use it. I've never been very good at that, but these months stuck at home have been very good for me for organization. So that's something I've already done a lot of and hope to continue doing here in 2020 as kind of a personal goal, just to get things more organized and hopefully carry that forward into future years as well. And then for a Lego goal, I would say a big one is just with the way that our content has changed so much this year due to not having conventions, just ensuring that we continue to have content on the channel. And that comes down to me making sure we schedule live streams, working with our contributors to make sure they're able to make content coming up, working with John and our contributors to come up with ideas for videos. So all of that stuff, that's kind of my big Lego goal for 2020 now, since we know we can't go to any conventions. It's what other ideas can we come up with? How can we adapt to this? And I think, in my opinion, I think we've done a pretty good job so far. We've done a lot of live streams. We've been able to figure out other types of content and chat with a lot of different people online. So I think we've adapted pretty decent so far, but definitely continuing to figure out what is the most interesting content that we can bring people for the rest of the year until whenever conventions start back up.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think it's so amazing because with conventions going on and everything, you guys always did daily content, and I think it's amazing that you guys are still doing that, whether it's live streams, interviews, or redos of the old conventions that weren't posted. So I think that's really awesome.
Right. Well, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. And that has been a big goal. We've always wanted to try to put out a video every day. And we did that for like over 1,000 days straight with the convention interviews. And then this year we've taken off a few days here and there. But yeah, it's still been very brief days that we have not had a video. So we try to always have something out there, whether it's a live stream or a set review. Brian with the Mario sets, we've been doing a lot of content around that. So we're doing our best to keep as much out there for people as possible.
So last question, what personally brings you the greatest joy for your life and in the world of Lego?
I think those two are pretty intertwined for me. Again, having been doing this so long, my kind of like personal life and my life outside of Lego has become very intertwined with what I do with Lego as well. It's kind of impossible to separate those two. And so I get a lot of joy from helping people learn. I think just like education in general is something I really, really appreciate. And so knowing whether that's through Beyond the Brick and the videos we put out there, with the videos that people can watch to learn more about engineering, or if it's a historical build, something like that, or architectural build, so they can learn about a period of history or learn how to build a certain type of thing. Anything like that brings me a lot of joy for sure. Also, there's a small secondary channel we run called Destinations of History. That's a travel/history channel that also we do a lot of educational videos from when we travel. So that type of content is what I am really passionate about. I love that sort of thing. And knowing that people can watch that, maybe they can't travel to a Lego convention or travel to somewhere in particular themselves, but they can watch our videos and learn that way. Really gets me excited. So I would say, yeah, just kind of education or helping people learn is a big thing for me.
That's awesome. I heard you were talking about that channel. I don't know if it was on that channel or Beyond the Brick, but the other day I saw when you guys went to Antarctica and built the Lego sets. I
Yeah,
just think
so
that's amazing how you combine the travel with Lego.
we did
Very
post a
cool.
video on Beyond the Brick. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Thanks for bringing that up because, yeah, that video is very unique for us. Not a normal type of video. But, yeah, we posted a video on Beyond the Brick where we did a couple of small winter ice-themed builds. I actually have them on the shelf back here behind me. They're small, so it's hard to see. And then took them to shore and got some videos with, like, penguins walking behind them and stuff. So that was super fun. And so, yeah, we did that on Beyond the Brick. And then we did post a couple of videos from Antarctica on the Destinations of History channel as well that looked at more of the kind of the historical locations we visited when we were there.
That's awesome. So Joshua, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so honored that you would take the time to share some of your story with us.
Thank you, Connor. This has been wonderful. I appreciate you taking the time to put together such interesting and thoughtful questions. It's always good to sit down and chat about, both where Beyond the Brick is going in the future and kind of where we've come from in the past here. So I always appreciate that opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you for sharing a glimpse of you behind the bricks.
You're welcome.
Thank you for watching our interview with Joshua. You can go check out his channel Beyond the Brick in the links below. And if you enjoyed this interview, please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and turn on the notification bell so you will be notified when our next video comes out. Please go in the comments section and tell us what you think of this video and who you think we should interview next. Everyone have a great day, and see you guys on the next video.